In this video, we're going to be going over my Facebook ads scaling strategy and how I'm able to do big numbers per day, just like this $6,000 day. All right, guys, just going to do a really quick refresh check right here. As you can see, here's the Shopify results. Not only are we deep diving into the ad account, but we're going to be going over everything involved with the strategy, the entire recipe in order to show you guys how to scale aggressively just like this, whilst maintaining profitability. In fact, this might be you, because one of the biggest struggles I see with new ecom guys or girls is that they try to scale, they make it past testing phase, they're profitable, maybe they're spending $100, $200 a day, and I'll be one of the first to actually tell you guys to push the limit. Everything seems to crumble apart. All that hard work just seems to go to waste and you're back to square one. So when it comes to the Shopify store backend, how the creatives are made, structured, what to do, when to do it, how to qualify everything within the ad account, I am going to be going over absolutely everything that's needed to scale this. We're going to keep this ad strategy as compressed and concise as possible and only be showing you what is needed. I have a feeling this video is going to change a lot of lives, and if you guys need any personalized help with your store, scaling your ads, etc., you can go ahead and DM me on Instagram at Leo Kuzno and I'll personally get back to you. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe for more videos just like this. I'm going to show you guys exactly what you need to know, so let's get into it. All right, guys, so on the computer now, and I'm going to be just showing you inside the ad account, and just want to make a quick video again, just showing you guys this scaling strategy that I'm using in 2025 Q4. This is my 6K a day Facebook ad scaling strategy, and my bad, it's Q2. I totally messed that up, but yeah, it's 2025 Q2. So let me explain the ad account a little bit here. So we're scaling actively. This is the ad account on today, and I know these cost per results look crazy. They look cracked out high. I would say this is missing very, very hard. I just switched on to a third-party checkout, a different one that I've never used, and the UTM, the way the data is tracking and sending the data to Facebook, it's not hitting everything. In fact, it's missing so much, over half. So just know, my cost per purchase on average is around $25 to $30, more so towards the high side. Obviously, things take time to level out, but here you can see, just think of these numbers like this. Sorry, I'm like pointing at my screen right now, but like all these numbers, just like cut them in half, okay? So don't judge. I know it looks crazy, and like, who the hell are you to teach this? Trust me. But anyways, $3,500 spent, over $6,000 back in sales, about a $1,500 profit, $1,000 in product cost is what we're looking at. So $1,500 on the front end. But what's awesome is it's a third-party checkout, and I have things like reoccurring revenue. So all my customers who subscribe or opt in to subscribe, I run a subscribe and save feature. Close to 100 orders a day. Again, these are not tracking. If you're charging everybody $30 a month, that adds a lot of revenue that's just going to be coming back to you. So making money on the front end, making money on the back end, but what you guys are here for is how do I set up my ads. So let me show you just really quickly inside of a campaign, and then I'm going to break down everything that it takes to do this, everything that is involved for this scaling strategy, because it is not just setting up ads, doing it this way, scaling this way. It doesn't really matter like that. It's more so how your strategy is of getting content, how you're serving it to the algorithm, how much are you testing. So again, this is a scaling strategy. I would hope you know what winning creatives you have to watching this video. I would hope you know. If not, subscribe, stay tuned, because my next video is my 2025 Q2 testing strategy. We'll basically show how to quickly find your winning creatives and then go over and find your winning audiences so you can scale out, duplicate, do all that good stuff, raise budgets, and make a lot more money. But yeah, so these campaigns are actually crushing. There's no reason for me to turn anything off here. Obviously, this is just how it's running. It's been running like this for a few days now. So I'm very, very pleased with it. Again, cut these numbers in half. So you see a $40 cost per purchase, that's $20. You see it, and my AOV is, $35.40, and it's great. It really is. So I love it. I'm making money front end, back end. Again, if you guys are wondering, a full PDF, not the PDF that we're going to make, but like a complete PDF that you could put side by side, for the scaling strategy, for the testing strategy, and other things. Conversion rate optimization is a huge thing. I'm assuming when I create this video, I'm assuming you guys have all this stuff down, but a lot of people don't. And if you don't have this stuff down, things like conversion rate optimization, is your store even fit to work? Because if your store doesn't currently work, I'm assuming you guys have tested and at least found winning creatives or winning audiences. And when I talk about a winning audience, I'm not talking about all these different interests. I'm literally just talking about what country, and if you're specifying a gender, or age range. But yeah, so with all that stuff out of the way, finally, let's get into into it. So creative scaling is the biggest part, and yes, I just did plug my Instagram in there. If you guys want, or if you need any like one-on-one help with this type of stuff, I can definitely point you in the right direction. You can DM me on Instagram as well. But yes, so the reason being is fatigue, angles, and just new winners overall. I think fatigue has a lot of emphasis here. Most people figure out about this the hard way. And what I mean by that is they're running their ads and things are going great. And then a month or so goes by and things are pretty mediocre, as I'd say. You know, with fatigue is all of a sudden your ads aren't working anymore. And if you currently aren't always introducing new creatives in the algorithm and always finding new angles and finding new winners, then you're just gonna be dead in the water, and you're gonna have to face that time where you're not making money. You know, when you're trying to get things back up, when you're trying to get profitable again. I mean, there's things you can do, right? You know, CRO, you know, LTV, AOV, doing all those things. But yes, you need to always be reintroducing new creatives. So you need to be finding new angles of your products. You need to be finding and testing new winners. And the way you do this is just introduce them into a campaign that you currently have. You know, I like to make a lot of campaigns in my scaling. I'll typically just duplicate at maybe the same budget, or sometimes raise it by 100, or if I want to test new creatives, you know, maybe reduce it by 100. But what are these campaigns? Let's go into that. But I'll get into the actual campaign setup and what I'm doing in just a moment here. So GPT-4 for statics is a good one. I don't think they're too good at videos. I've seen a lot of that like new like AI UGC creatives, and they just aren't that up to par. It's typically like a robot voice looking girl or guy, you know, doing kind of a stitch with basically a mashup, you know, just different random clips of the product being held and stuff that were already previously on the internet. I think this one's good if you're going a little bit more, you know, black hat and whatever. I mean, I don't care what people say too much. I think if you're starting and then you're kind of more so new to this and you don't have too much funds behind you, by all means, you know, if the content is usable, you should, you know, rip or kind of make a little knockoff or sketch after it. Use these for inspiration. Mashups are great. This is what I use. I introduce 25 new mashups into my ad account per month. I pay $1,000 a month for it. Again, if you need resources for this, it's all going to be in my Discord. You can ask me anything, as well as there's going to be channels pretty much going all over all this different stuff individually with their own PDFs. But yeah, so mashups is huge. Of course, this is going to cost the most, but you're actually better off just paying influencers instead of UGC creators, because UGC creators literally will charge like $1,000 for like 2 videos now. It's crazy. I don't know how the market got so inflated. I don't know who told them what their worth is, but like, I don't know. But typically this stuff, you should be good. If you need any suppliers, again, on that Discord link is down below. All resources for this type of stuff is going to be great. So this is a huge infrastructure that you need. And now I want to move into the next part. So the next part is going to be your ad account setup. And this might be a bit different than what I think. So what's your payment method? You need a good, strong payment method. I highly recommend an Amex Gold for this. You know, it's great. You get the 4x points back on ad spend. That literally, it does add to your margin. It does add to your margin. Every $1,000 you spend, you get about 40 back worth of points for the first, I think it's $150,000 or $250,000 a year per ad spend on these types of marketing costs. Agency account. This is what I use. Between, you know, in the last week or so, it's been allowed me to spend $30,000 on a brand new account. You know, when you're spending money, you're going to get a lot of issues. You're going to get account bans. You're going to get account restrictions. And you're just going to get a lot of problems. And I've noticed agency accounts to eliminate that. When I have, you know, feedback score problems or just restrictions overall, I'm able to get it cleared up almost instantly because I have that agency support. Again, when it comes to Facebook agency accounts, this type of stuff is in the Discord. I mean, I don't want to spam my YouTube link with a million different links and channels and resources. So again, it's all free. Discord down below. Yes, and what you can also do with these is they'll set up a different business manager and put your pixel in that, then share the pixel with the agency or the business that holds your agency ad. So this will actually sit in its own business manager, and you can hold a few pixels for whatever reasons you can stock up. This will sit in a different business manager that will own it, and then it will share it to your agency account. So what happens if, worst case scenario, something just happened? This is very rare, but when it does, I mean, when you're actually spending money on a store, some very serious coin and you're making some serious coin, some serious sales, you're making damn near 100,000 a week or well into the 100,000s a month, you want your data protected, because when you lose that data and then you have to restart, it's like starting back over. You're just hitting the wrong audiences. You have to go back to testing. You have to go back to seasoning your pixel. And that is just something you don't want. Again, these are the things that people don't really talk about when it comes to scaling your ads. The proper setups, the proper systems, the proper backend. Do you have everything really leveled out to actually scale? Because more than likely, if you're sitting around on grandma's Facebook account and then you're asking your brother for his or whatever it is, you're going to be dead in the water and your business is not going to last. You only got a couple more people you can ask to use their account before it gets banned. If you don't have this type of system, it's something that you genuinely need to invest in. But yes, no hard feelings. That I know. Trust me, I've been there, done that years ago. Is what it is. Love for the game. All right, next we are going to be jumping into the actual campaign setup, and then we'll just be talking about how to scale it and taking it on further. Quick and easy, right? So with this campaign setup, it's basically just Advantage Plus. So I just actually launched a campaign here, but I just want to show you really quick. So going over, we have 2 ad sets in it. Again, it doesn't really matter. The reason I'm doing 2 ad sets right now is just because sometimes randomly ad sets will perform better than others. Now that I'm spending a lot more money per day, I want to find what is performing better. Is Facebook just randomly pushing one ad set and I'm saving $20 on a purchase? Maybe. It's doing 200% better than the other ad set? Maybe. It happens all the time. And finding that over time, it's just creating more pockets to test, because I have tested all the audiences. I have tested all the creatives. Sometimes you want to test a little bit more, but just different nuances like that. So within that, I have 3 creatives. And then again, it's just duplicated. It's the same thing. You have 3 creatives in the other. But yeah, so really quickly, I'll just take you through what it looks like to create this. This is a sales campaign, Advantage Shopping Plus campaign. Again, this is scaling. We're using Advantage Plus. It's not a manual sales campaign where we are setting a testing strat or testing for creatives, hopefully, and then audiences. So yes, Advantage Plus shopping. When it comes to this, so make sure you got your pixel. For this, we're just gonna do United States. Budget $200. Now, I would budget it a bit less if you are introducing new creatives. If it's a campaign that's performing well, obviously you're typically just gonna duplicate the campaign that's performing well and then make it 300. If you understand what I mean by that. So let's say this campaign does good at 200, and we would duplicate it and go to 300. But that's scaling, so I'll talk to you about that in a second. And yeah, so we basically then, where it has their suggested ads, you just have them, and you import your ads and you post your campaign. It is that easy. Isn't that crazy? I guess one thing to point out is yes, if you've tested and you have your audience locations, and if you have certain different specifications, the really only other specifications I'd make is, if you just have a gender that's dominant and you're getting lower cost of results. But that is so crazy. But yes, that's literally all I'm running. It's just these Advantage Plus campaigns. And we've noticed the consistency and scalability is great. Because, the main reason being is, when we scale these campaigns, it is always looking for and finding new audiences. And what I mean by that is sometimes these ad sets, how I talked about creative fatigue? Sometimes these ad sets, these campaigns get fatigued. And when you have things like Advantage Plus on and you just allow Facebook to basically just show it to whoever, show it to the people who you think will buy it at all times, it will keep going on with that. Sometimes, I see with old strategies, interest targeting, things like that, you wear out audiences so fast. But when you just give it let's say women, broad, United States, whatever, and you just say go crazy with it, it will find all those women. It will keep finding the women who are interested in it. That's basically the reasoning behind it. How is it scaled? So it's basically scaled like this. So let's look at this campaign. For example, I know these CPAs are effed up, but let's look at this campaign. For example, it's spending $200. We like it. We go ahead and we just duplicate it, blah, 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 and we up the budget to $300. How do we add in new creatives from our mashups or from our AI or whatever we're doing or ripping off TikTok Shop? Well, we simply just duplicate it, $100, and then just throw those creatives in an ad set or two. It can be one ad set. It doesn't need to be two, but that's really it. That's my scaling strategy. That's how I'm doing 6K a day. And obviously here's my ad account to show, and you know, it's everything really. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure to like, subscribe. I will have testing strategies and much more Q2 2025 updates, LTV, CRO, and just a full-on creative video just going over literally everything and in between. I appreciate you guys for watching, and that's been it. Peace.